Hey guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to my humble YouTube channel. I have something pretty special for you today, and you can see I'm working with a milk carton. You know, like the plasticky ones that have the screw top on the top of them. I go through so many of these. I just throw them out all the time because you can't recycle them. So recently I've been on a kick of like, how can I recycle stuff, especially like plastic, and I thought, oh, I want to make some sequins out of it. So I just got really crazy with YouTube videos, and I saw that someone made a clutch bag out of these milk cartons. Are really durable and really thick. So I saw up to the part where they wrapped it in fabric. I can't remember how they glued it, but I tried E6000 or whatever glue, Fabri-Tac, and nothing would stick to this milk carton. So I figured out that you can use masking tape to wrap it. So I just glued on some strips of fall colored and Halloween, inspired fabric onto a separate piece of canvas cloth. And then I stitched over them a little bit to make my cover. So here I'm wrapping it with some duct tape that I have. And so I'm just kind of wrapping it just as you would when you're covering a book. So yeah, I didn't cut my corners very good, but oh well. So this is going to be my personal little fall and Halloween junk journal. I was inspired to make this journal after seeing Lydia from February and June. It was just so cool to see her make like a simple journal in real time, and it just inspired me to kind of make one and not really care about necessarily what it looks like, if it looks perfect. And of course I still have my envelope junk journals I haven't finished, but it's just I always want to try something new. So these are still small. This is a small journal, and it's kind of like that Gatefold. It's going to be like a Gatefold journal where it like opens from both sides on the front, and both sides have journaling pages on each side. So you'll see that soon. Right here I'm gluing in the inside pages for the cover, and the Fabri-Tac in this case did work. So I put it all over the duct tape, and I didn't really go with the full-on Halloween because I found trouble journaling that much about Valentine's Day, Halloween last year. I just kind of did a collage every day for October Daily. So this time I'm making it kind of a general fall and Halloween, I guess, theme. So I picked some pretty autumn colors and some purples. I usually don't like purple, but I do like it when it involves Halloween. So I usually like magenta and fuchsias. A complimentary paper from this scrapbook collection for the other side, just to make it different. And again, I'm gluing that with Fabri-Tac. And I'm so sorry the background, my cutting mat is really, I guess, dirty. That's glue. That's all glue. So I probably need to buy a new one just for videos, I guess. Just so it looks aesthetic. So here I'm kind of I keep folding the milk carton to see if everything is glued and stuck on, and if it opens up nice, making sure that it folds nicely, the inside cover. I did rip the inside page on the pink side of it, but I put washi tape over that later on. So grabbing the good old crocodile thingamabob and gonna cut a hole on each side of the opening so I can put an eyelet in. And then I matched it up and put a little mark. That helped me make sure that it was it's going to be even. I've seen other journals out there where their eyelets are kind of offset a little bit, so I knew I didn't want to do that with this one. It's still not perfect, but it's all right. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to tell you guys. With the milk carton, I think the easiest thing to do is to actually chop the bottom off, because it is so strongly glued, because they don't want it to leak. If you could just take a knife and just kind of saw off the bottom and unfold the top of it, flatten it, and then cut it to your desired shape. And then where the box is actually sealed closed, that's where I made my opening. And because it was like a cube shape, that's why I came up with the idea for the gatefold. You could probably cut the piece I have there in half and make like a miniature journal. But I just wanted to see how complicated I could get with it. If I were to use thinner paper or thinner fabric next time to cover the outside, I could probably fold it again, if you understand what I mean. So fold it closed and then fold it again would be another idea. And you can use it as just a ephemera folder, or what do they call them? Portfolios? I don't know what junk journalers call it. But that would be a cool Happy Mail idea. But my material is so thick because I glued my fabric scraps on top of my canvas cloth. Next time I do that, I'm just going to make the journal like out of that, the canvas cloth with the fabric on it, because that would probably be nice too. Or just glue it to a thin cereal box. That would be pretty good. But yeah, it's the way I did it makes this milk carton pretty thick. But actually, I've already worked in it, and I like it. It's working out fine. So here I measured up one piece of paper that fits on one side, and then I'm matching all the other leaves to match up, and I'm reinforcing that fold so they'll fold nice and tight and not be too bulky. And just doing a simple pamphlet stitch, which is so easy, and you only need 3 holes for that. And I'm going to poke through on the middle, and then probably an inch from the top, an inch from the bottom. The paper pad that I'm using here, I think is called Rose Couture, and it's by Die Cuts with a View. So if you type in DCWV, that's the brand of scrap paper that I got. And I really like their line because the paper is very nice quality and it's double-sided, so there's patterns on each side. And I really like that about scrapbook paper. And they actually have 2 copies of each design, and that's another reason I really love their paper pads. And they had a good sale at Joann's a couple months ago. I think they were about $10 each, and I got a couple of those. So really check out their paper because it's so versatile. So here I'm cutting it down so that it'll close and not be in the way of the other side. So I just keep measuring here, and I'm doing a little flip of what I have so far. And now I'm going to get ready to measure the paper for the other side. And I'm just going to, yeah, I cut myself with my scissors. That's why now I have a Band-Aid on. And I just flipped the book over. It's kind of hard to work on my opposite side, like on the right, to stitch a notebook on the right side is really odd. So I just flipped the book upside down, you know, and that seemed to help. I tried to use a lot of recycled materials for this one. And that peachy color is when my husband actually made a ton of guacamole. So I was able to have a lot of avocados at one time. And so I did some dyeing and have several pages of that. At first it came out pretty like light colored and I didn't really notice anything, but as time has gone by, I feel like it's gotten darker. That could be my imagination. And that paper up to the left, my neighbor has a eucalyptus tree, and she had some clippings in a heap on the side of the road, and I snagged those, and I probably looked really weird and silly, but I don't dye paper very often, but I couldn't pass that up because I knew it would leave marks. You know, it's kind of subtle, but oh well, it's still nice. So see how I turned it upside down so that I can still work on it, stitch it up. And the reason I guess I got into this was I guess I've been collecting sequins a lot lately, and I was like, well, you know, how can I get the really interesting sequins shapes that I'm seeing? And, you know, so I'm like shopping around and looking around, and I just feel like I just don't want to, I don't want to collect like new sequins. And, you know, I'm not like a perfect person by any means, but I feel like it is sort of wasteful, even though I love using it. And I use it on my spreads like all the time. And I actually bought some from Dollar Tree yesterday, but I just don't want to order like, you know, pounds of it, how some people do. I don't want that. And I'm like, how can I make my own? So I had like, you know, this muffin container, and I was like, wow, I wonder if I can cut out some shapes and just bend it, you know, to make sequins out of it and put glitter on it. And so I don't know, I've just been looking at that, and I guess the fall weather, it just really motivates me to start crafting. I don't know if other people feel like that. It's just, I don't know if it's like evolutionary, like animal behavior to start like homemaking, and like I'm never motivated during the whole year to do this, except for when it's fall. I feel like zhuzhing things, you know. And so being really crafty is one of those things. So, but anyway, that's how I got started on, got the idea of using this milk carton, because I watched those really crappy 5-minute craft show videos on YouTube, which is really clickbait. But yeah, I saw that somebody made like a clutch bag out of these cartons. And then I also looked up on Pinterest that people in Germany actually make like a wallet out of these. And so I'm going to experiment with that. And they use like an accordion fold, so it becomes like a folder. So I'm going to experiment with that. So the journal's done here, and this is what I came up with. It's folded in the back, which is kind of weird, but hey, what are you gonna do? You know, this is what I came up with, and I think it's cool. It's flexible, so that's a good point. I thought it would be really tight and hard to like close up, but it's really not. It's flexible. It can actually stand up as well, since it's like folded in the back. Yeah, so this is what I came up with, and I just put some sari trim, and I actually ripped that sari trim out of a rug I have because I was so jealous of the people that have 5 and belows. So I just got a rug, an old one that we have, and, you know, opened that up, and it wasn't that impressive, but I did like this piece of purple sari fabrics. And all that is like strips of fabric and trim, vintage trim. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.